into are the 5 different levels that we have in Pathways. If you have trouble reading tiny, fine print, you might not want to look at this one. You might want to look at this handout that shows the levels on there. But I'm going to talk about them. There are 5 different levels that we each work on within Pathways. The first one is Mastering Fundamentals. Next is your learning style. Third, increasing knowledge. 4th, building skills. And then 5, demonstrating expertise. So I want to talk about this at first. Your level 1, there's really good information in these handouts. So I don't want you to read this now. I want you to read this when you go home. But one of the things that I love about these handouts and the levels is that the levels take us one step at a time. Maybe that step might be a baby step. Or maybe it might be just a rather large step for you. But what we want to do within Pathways, we want to take each of these steps and learn about us, ourselves, so that we can be a better communicator and a better leader. Toastmasters has a tagline that says, Toastmasters, where leaders are made. And I truly believe by following these paths within Toastmasters Pathways program that you will become a better communicator as well as a better leader. Let's take that first level, Mastering Fundamentals. Andy did a good job today with his icebreaker speech. The icebreaker speech is the very first thing that you need to do in your path or in your level 1. It tells us a little bit about Andy. Andy, I loved your speech because it took me down memory lane because I was born in the 60s. So I survived all of those areas that you were talking about as well. It was fun. But we get to know who our members are by their icebreaker speech. And then the next speech that we do in that level 1 is we do any speech what we want to do. I thought I would do an educational speech today on the Pathways program because so many of us are using the Pathways program. What I like best about this speech and the next speech is that I am going to get feedback today from Chet on how I can improve this speech. And I am being videotaped right now on this to see, wow, I definitely want to be able to watch this before I do my next speech because I want to know how to better this speech because I would actually like to take this and have this on our website so that everybody that is new actually gets a chance to understand the different levels. You learn the fundamentals about speaking. You learn the fundamentals about evaluating and understanding the importance of evaluation. That's what that first level 1, Mastering Fundamentals, is. The level 2 is learning your style. Last week, how many of you were here last week? We had 2, Jenny and Kevin, each spoke on your learning styles. And it was so nice to have 2 speeches of the same requirement, and they were completely different. It was fun, and we got to learn a little bit about their styles, how they are going to be taking this, and how they are going to be able to be successful in life because of the learning styles that we learn. So in level 2, there are 3 different required projects, and the 3 different required projects, if you look at this very small part right there, it'll say you need to work on a project 4, a project 5, and then introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. So depending on what path you are on, if you look at this handout right here, it will tell you the required projects, whatever path you are on. Like for instance, today I'm working on the visionary communication. So if I look at my level 2 over here, what I need to do, I need to pick, my required things are understanding the leadership style, understanding your communication style, and introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. Now all of these are not the same depending on which path you chose, and there are 10 different paths within Toastmasters. So that's what level 2 is. Level 2 is that presentation mastery. The next one, or not presentation mastery, but that's understanding your style. Level 3 is increasing your knowledge. This is where, okay, I've learned the fundamentals, I've learned my style, now how am I going to increase my knowledge so that I can share whatever I want to share, or whatever my goals are in Toastmasters with everyone. That's what level 3 does. And if you look at this right here on level 3, this gives you you get to pick 2 required projects out of 13 different projects. So depending on what you're working on, for example, I'm working on the visionary communication. So what I would like to do is when I'm working on my level 3, I've decided that I want to learn how to connect better with my audience, and I want to make connections through networking. So that's what I want to work on, but that might be completely different for you. So that's what level 3 is. It is increasing your knowledge. Then level 4 is building up your skills. Now building up your skills, again, look at this. You'll see 1 is required. Well, what do I want to do? I want to write a blog. I've never done a blog before. I've listened to blogs, but I've never written one. Yeah, I can't get the word of the day in because I can't remember the word of the day. I need to put it up here. Oh, assiduous. Oh, yeah. Yes, but what you need to do is you need to be assiduous in your journey through each of these paths. And then the last path is level 5, and that is demonstrating expertise. And what I've chosen in my level 5 is I want to lead in a volunteer organization. Not really. That I was going to use that as an example of Jody Smith. She was the president of the GRAR Association one time, and that was a volunteer organization that she has. That might be a really good example, like if you're a member of a church group or if you're a member of some kind of a nonprofit organization, that's your opportunity to take what you've learned through all of your paths and be able to be successful in your communication and leadership skills. So once you understand each of these levels within Toastmasters, I think you're really going to jump in. Whether you take that little baby step and you're one of the brand new people just trying to understand this, or you take one of those larger steps, I encourage you, that form that we pass around to sign up for future speeches, let's have that filled. Let's have that filled with speeches for the next several months, because the more you get up here and practice these skills, the better you are going to be. Remember, Toastmasters is where leaders are made. Mr.